The Germany-based Light Dragoons have received their new colours from the Princess of Wales. After the ceremony, the Princess, who's their Colonel-in-Chief, took lunch with the soldiers and their families. Lucy Jackson has this report.
The Princess of Wales at one time intended to shy away from public life, but today in Hona she looks relaxed and happy as she performs her duties as Colonel-in-Chief of the Light Dragoons. Her last visit was 2 years ago when the regiment had recently amalgamated. Today is the final act of that amalgamation, the dedication of the new Guidon, which bears the battle honours of both parent regiments, the 13th 18th Royal Hussars and the 15th 19th the King's Royal Hussars.
And a sign of our resolve to guard, preserve and sustain the great traditions of bravery and self-sacrifice, of which we are...
It's a proud moment for the whole regiment, and with the Princess there to do the honours, it was attracting a lot of attention, although the cameras seem more interested in the Princess herself than the new Guidon.
We certainly guarantee to get a lot of interest from a lot of people. Not just the media. A lot of people, I think, are genuinely interested in what she does, and it's really nice she takes an interest in us. She's a very, very busy lady. The Princess of Wales is an enormous morale booster wherever she goes, and obviously, to us, it's something very, very special. I mean, she's our Colonel-in-Chief, and we call her Colonel, and she loves it.
Pretty, nice. She's the right kind of princess to be a princess, and I want to be a princess too.
In 6 weeks' time, many of the soldiers here will be on their way to Bosnia. Today's parade and the royal visit couldn't have been a better send-off.
The Light Dragoons were formed on the 1st of December 1992 by the amalgamation of the 13th 18th Royal Hussars and 15th 19th the King's Royal Hussars. This had come about as a result of the 1991 Defence Review, which had followed the end of 40 years of Cold War between NATO and the Warsaw Pact. The formation of the Light Dragoons was therefore not only an important milestone in the great history and light cavalry tradition of our two former regiments, but in its own way it also marks the start of an entirely new era on the world stage. However, it could not be said that the amalgamation was truly complete until a new Guidon had been designed, consecrated and presented to the regiment. This video therefore records the presentation of that first Guidon at Hague Barracks in Hona on the 22nd of July 1995 by Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales, who was then our Colonel-in-Chief. As Colonel of the regiment at the time, it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce the video to you. At the time of the presentation, none of us were aware that the Princess of Wales was to relinquish all her public duties the following year, nor, of course, of how imminent was her tragic death in August 1997. But I must record here how much we all owe her as Colonel-in-Chief, both of the 13th 18th Hussars before amalgamation and after it of the Light Dragoons. This video will show this better than any words can describe, and it therefore also serves as our own private tribute to her. I'm now going to hand over the commentary to the adjutant at the time, Major Angus Watson. He was largely responsible for the preparations and organisation of the day itself, so there is certainly no one better qualified to describe it to you.
The Regimental Sergeant Major marches to the centre of the parade ground in order to form the regiment onto parade. The regiment marches onto parade, led by the band of the Hussars and Light Dragoons, under the direction of Captain David Cresswell. Appropriately, the tune to which they march is On the Square. Each of the guards is found by one of the Sabre squadrons. Number 1 guard, D squadron, number 2 guard, A squadron, number 3 Guard C Squadron and number 4 Guard B Squadron. Second in command, Major Tabor, now marches on to parade to take over the parade from the Regimental Sergeant Major in preparation for marching the officers onto parade. The commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Webb Bowen, now marches onto parade to take command prior to the marching on of the 2 old Guidons. The parade now presents arms as the 2 Guidons are marched onto parade to the Regimental Quick March, Balaclava. On the left, as you look, the Guidon of the 13th 18th Royal Hussars, carried by the Technical Quartermaster Sergeant, W02 Fawcett, and on the right, the Guidon of the 15th 19th, the King's Royal Hussars, carried by Headquarters Squadron Sergeant Major, W02 Kimber. The parade now awaits the arrival of General Officers and the Colonel-in-Chief. The first General Officer to arrive is Major General Roddy Cordy Simpson, late of the 13th 18th Hussars, who at the time of the parade was the General Officer commanding the 1st United Kingdom Armoured Division in Germany. The parade receives him with a general salute.
General salute!